everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at the bones of our skull. So right here we have our frontal bone. On the top we have our parietal bone. There's two of them. On the side right here you have your temporal bone. On the back of the skull you have your occipital bone. On this view you also see the nasal bone right here, your maxilla right here, this one right here. On this side you have your lacrimal bone right here with that little hole right here. And then if you take a look at our structures inside, for the occipital bone, if I take a look at my skull, let me show you on this one. This wide opening right at the center, that's the foramen magnum. The little bony piece that are sticking out right here and right here, those would be your occipital condyle. For the temporal bone on the side view, this opening right here would be your external acoustic meatus. This is the mastoid process. This sharp one is the styloid process. Bridge right here would be the zygomatic process. And right here is where the mandible would fit in, would be the mandibular fossa. For the sphenoid bone, we're only going to look at the structures. So you have right here the sella turcica. This opening right here and right here, those would be your foramen ovale. And this right here, which you kind of see it coming through the optic canal, that's the optic canal that comes through the orbital cavity. So one on this side and then one on this side. For ethmoid bone, we're kind of looking at this surface right here. So the surface as a whole is the cribriform plate. The little bony that sticks out right at the center kind of look like a mountain peak. That's your crista galli. And all of the little holes that you see right at the center would be your olfactory foramina. Then if you take a look at your maxilla, which is this bone right here, the little bumps that you see at the surface of the maxilla, where your tooth is fitting into its socket, those are your alveolar margin. Again, on the side, we already saw this would be your lacrimal bone right here. And then this is your cheekbone, which is the zygomatic bone. This bone, this sharp piece right here, that's the vomer. And if I flip it around, the roof of your mouth right here, this part is the palatine bone right here. Not the whole thing, just this extension. This last piece is the palatine bone. If you look at our mandible, we have our ramus. We have our mandibular process or mandibular condyle. We have the coronoid process. Again, the little bumps that you have on the surface, those would be the alveolar process or margin. There's two little holes or opening right here, one right here and then one right here. Those would be your mandibular foramen. And then lastly for the skull is looking at the sutures that connect the bones. So this one that runs right here on the front would be the coronal suture. One that runs right at the center of your skull, that's the sagittal suture. On the side right here, where you have the parietal coming into contact with temporal bone, that's the squamosal suture or a squamous suture. And then parietal bones connecting to the occipital bone is this suture right here called the lambdoid suture.